Hi, boys and girls. Okay, so we're going to start our math for this week. This is the first page. So it's going to be on another number line, just like we've been working on. Okay, and this is page 43. Page 43 down at the bottom. Plot the point on the number line for the times shown on the clocks below. Then draw a line to match the clocks to the points. So it's from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Okay. We have 7:05. If you want to mark your number line. Piece of paper in my hair for some reason. Okay. 7. Okay. And just as a reminder, how long is this timeline? How long is it from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock? Take a minute to think about it. You can either say it's 1 hour, or you can say that it's 60 minutes. Okay, 1 hour, or you can say 60 minutes. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the very first clock. Okay, so let's look at the big hand, or sorry, the little hand first. The little hand is for the hour, and the big hand is for the minutes. So the little hand looks like it's between the 7 and the 8, which fits with our number line that we're working with. And the big hand, it's right after the 3. So looking at a bigger clock, sorry, I'm getting some emails. Okay. Looking at a bigger clock, also sorry, the light is kind of in the way of the 12. 12's up here. You count by 5s for the bigger numbers. So starting with the 1, 5, 10, 15. So if it's pointing directly at the 3, it would be 7:15. But looking at it, it's a couple lines. Sorry, I'm trying to get it where you can see. It's a couple lines after the 3. So let's count them. Looking at your paper, I'm seeing 1, 2. So right after 3, I'm seeing 2 tick marks. The first tick mark is at the 3, and I'm seeing 2 tick marks. So if the 3 is 15, what's 15 plus 2? Go ahead and take a minute. 15 plus 2. Okay, so I did 15, 16, 17. So we have 7:17 showing on that first clock. So let's see if we can find 7:17. From what I wrote down, do we have 7:17 written down at all? Go ahead and look. Looking at what I have written down, we don't have 7:17, but we can find it by thinking about, is 17 higher or lower than 5? Higher. Is 17 higher than 10? Higher. Is 17 higher than 15? Higher. Is 17 higher than 20? Nope. So it's going to be between 7:15 and 7:20. So we go ahead, and how many are between 15 and 20. We can figure that out by doing 20 minus 15. We always start with the right column, remember, all the way to the right. Can we take 5 away from 0? Can I take 5 away from here? Nope. So what do I need to do? Think about it. We have to borrow. So we're going to take our 0, cross it out. Going to take our 2. Our 0 becomes a 10. Our 2 becomes a 1. What's 10 minus 5? 10, my marker almost fell. 10 minus 5. 5. So we're going to put our 5 here. What's 1 take away 1? 0. So our answer is 5. So there should be 5 tick marks in between this 715 and this 720. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 tick marks. Okay. So we're going to count the tick marks. We're at 715, 716, 717. I found it. It's the second tick mark. So go ahead and put a dot right there. The second tick mark after 715. Okay? And then draw a line from the furthest clock down to that point that we just made. Okay? Now looking at the second clock, it is an analog clock. Oh, I'm sorry, the first clock is an analog clock. The second clock is a digital clock. So it just says 7:03. 7:03. Okay, so 7, we're still fitting in this timeline. We have to find 03. Is 3 higher than 0? Yep. Is 3 higher than 5? Nope. So draw our tick marks. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this last one is 5. So let's find 7:03. 7:01, 7:02, oop, 7:03. It's the third tick mark. There should be 1 tick mark in between 7:03 and 7:05. Let's go ahead and put a tick mark there and draw a line to the digital clock. Draw a line. Okay, the third clock. Looking at this one. The small hand, we always look at the small hand first. It's in between the 7 and the 8, which works with what we're doing here. Looking at the big clock, or the big hand, it looks like it's by the 11. So, counting by 5s, starting at the 1, or you can start at the 12. The 12 is 0. Okay? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. The 11 is 55. So 7:55, because it looks to me, it's a little small, but it looks to me like it is pointing directly at that 11. So we have to find 7:55. Go ahead and plot it for yourself. Excuse me, I have a hiccup. Go ahead and plot it for yourself. Okay, I found it right here, all the way at the end, 7:55. So if you found that, go ahead and draw a line to the 7:55. Okay, looking at the fourth clock, which hand are we looking at first? The big one or the small one? I'm sorry, I'm holding it weird. This one. This clock right there, okay? Big hand or the small hand first? We're looking at the small hand. So it looks like it's between the 7 and the 8, which is what we want. Okay. And then looking at the big hand, it looks like it's right after the 8. So going back to our clock, we have to go to the 8, okay? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, okay? And it looks like, to me, it is 1 tick mark right after the 8. So we're at 40, we need 40 plus 1 extra tick mark is 41. 7, 41, okay? So let's go ahead and find 741 on this timeline. Go ahead and look for yourself. We just got a delivery. Okay, 741, did you find it? Okay, so I found it. I know that 41, I see 40 right here, and I know it's higher than 40, but then I see 45 here, and I know that it's lower than 45. So 40, 41, oh, found it. So I'm gonna do 1 tick mark, and I'm gonna put a dot right there. 741, so go ahead and draw your line from this clock to 741. Lastly, the last clock is 728. It's a digital clock, so we don't even have to figure out the hands. So go ahead and find 728 on our timeline. Take your time. Okay, I found 28 between 25 and 30. I knew 25, 26, 27, 28. So it should be the 3rd tick mark after 25. Oh, and they drew it for you. I didn't even notice that. Okay, for number 2, you're gonna go ahead and you're going to draw the hands for the clock. It says, Jesse woke up this morning at 6:48 a.m. Draw hands on the clock to show what time Jesse woke up. I'm just going to draw the clock a little bit bigger so you can see it. It's a little bit of a sad circle, but that's why Miss Lewis was not a art teacher, because she cannot draw perfect circles. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my clock. Okay. That is going to bother me every time I look at the camera. Not going to lie. Does that look better? Sure, we'll leave it like that. Why not? Okay. So she woke up at 6:48. I'm just going to write it over here so we can remember what we're working with. Okay. So we always start off with our what hand? Big hand or small hand? Which one are we working with first? Think about it. We're going to draw our hour first because that's what comes first. We're going to do our small hand first. So, pointing at the 6, but do we want it directly pointing at the 6, between the 5 and the 6, or between the 6 and the 7? Go ahead and think about that for a minute. Think about what you think. Maybe if you're with your parent, turn to them and tell them what you think and why. For example, I think it should be between the 5 and 6 because, or I think it should be directly at the 6 because, or I believe it should be between the 6 and the 7 because. Go ahead and think about it for a second. Okay. So we don't want it to be between the 5 and the 6 because that means that we're still in the 5th hour. That means we haven't gotten to 6 o'clock yet. Okay? And we don't want it directly at the 6 because the only time that it's directly at the 6 is when it is 6 o'clock. Okay? That is the only time that it's directly at the 6. Okay. Okay. So it's going to go between the 6 and the 7. So we're going to go ahead and make our little hand. Go between the 6 and the 7, just like that. Okay? Now, looking at our big hand for the minutes. 48. Okay? Let's count our numbers on the clock just to see. Ready? Count with me. We're counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Okay? And if you want to finish it, 50, 55, you can either say 60 or an hour. So we didn't ever say specifically 48, but we got to 40 and we got to 45, and then we got to 50. So I know that it's going to be somewhere in there. So let's look. I know that this 6 is 30 because 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I'm going to start down here. 30, 35. Is 48 higher or lower than 35? Higher. 40. Is 48 higher or lower than 40? That's higher. 45. Is 48 higher or lower than 45? It's higher. And then we get to 50. Is 48 higher or lower than 50? It's lower. So we know it's going to be between the 9 and the 10. So let's go ahead and put our tick marks. So we're at 40 for 9, 41, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and then the 10 is 50. Okay? So we need 48. 45 is the 9, 46, 47, 48. So our big hand is going to go directly there. Okay? So it should be to the 1, 2, 3, the third tick mark after the 9. The arrow is kind of sad, but you get the point. There we go. Okay? Your clock for number 2 should look like this. Go ahead and try number 3 on your own. So go ahead and pause this video and try number 3 on your own. Okay? Okay, hopefully you paused your the video and did number 3 on your own. We're going to go ahead and move on to number 4. Number 4, the clock shows what time Rebecca finishes her homework. What time does Rebecca finish her homework? So make sure and go ahead and look at which hand first. We're going to look at the small hand first. It's between the 5 and the 6. Okay? It looks like the big hand is 2 tick marks after the 5. I'm going to just go ahead and put a tick mark at the 5 and 2 tick marks after. And that's where the big hand is pointing at. Okay? So let's go ahead and count. Count with me. Counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay? We have 2 more tick marks. So now we're counting by 1s. 25. 25 plus 1 is 26. 26 plus 1 is 27. So you're going to go ahead and write 5:27 is when Rebecca woke up. Woke up? Nope, finish your homework. Oh, goodness, Miss Lewis. Okay. 5:27 is what time Rebecca finished her homework. Okay, looking at number 5. The clock below shows what time Mason's mom drops him off for practice. What time does Mason's mom drop him off? Okay, so let's go ahead and look. Look at the small hand first. Small hand is between the 3 and the 4. And the big hand is 1 tick mark after the 11. So I'm going to go up to the 11 and put a tick mark for 11 and a tick mark for right after 11. 1 tick mark. So let's go ahead and count because we already know the small hand hasn't gotten to 4 yet. So it's not 4 o'clock. We're still in 3 o'clock. It hasn't gotten there yet. So let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. And we have 1 more tick mark where the big hand is pointing. 1 more. 55 plus 1 is 56. Okay? So under A, what time does Mason's mom drop him off? 3:56. Go ahead and write that down. Okay. B, Mason's coach arrived 11 minutes before Mason. What time did Mason's coach arrive? Okay, so we have 11 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead to make our lives easier. Actually, I think that, if you have this sheet printed out, I would highly recommend using it. If not, if you're drawing your own, follow what I'm about to do. So, I'll just start here. I'm gonna put a tick mark for 9, which is 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. There's a tick mark for 10. I'm making the tick marks on the numbers a little bit bigger just to help see. 51, 2, 53, 54, 55. Okay. And then we're at 56 right there. Okay. We're going to count back 11 tick marks. So starting at 56, the tick mark after 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? So I'm just going to do a dotted big hand to the 9 so we don't lose it. Here, I'm going to turn this light off for just a minute, see if it shows up better. Nope, it doesn't show up better. I'll try it in a different color. Maybe that'll help. Help the cause, maybe. Does that show up? Yes, perfect. Green shows up. Good to know. Okay. So, it's pointing directly at the 9, so let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So the coach arrives 11 minutes before, so he is showing up at 3:45. Oh man, Miss Lewis is starting to say all sorts of different numbers and colors and shapes. Goodness. Okay, so 11 minutes before. So we're going backwards, counting backwards. 3:45. So go ahead and write that in B. Okay, so at this point, we have gotten to page 45, which is our exit ticket. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause this video and I want you to work on your exit ticket. Once you are done, you can go ahead and press play. I will go through the exit ticket so that you can double check and make sure your answers are correct. If they're not, go ahead and rewatch this video and maybe it'll help you to get a better understanding of it. If not, you can email me and I can have a Zoom meeting with you if you need me to go through anything with you, whatever works, okay? So you'll go through, you're gonna pause this video, you're gonna work on the exit ticket, and then I will be posting answer keys for the 2 homework pages. If any of you need me to go through the homework pages, just email me and I can go through a Zoom meeting with you if you need me to. Okay, so go ahead and pause this video. Pause. Did you pause the video? I'm watching you guys. Not really, but Miss Lewis thinks she's funny sometimes. Okay, I'm just gonna. So why does that always? Sure. Okay. Okay, eventually Miss Lewis will get good at drawing clocks, hopefully, maybe. Okay, so the exit ticket. It says, what time does Jason get to school? So looking at the small hand, it's at the 8, and the big hand is 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks after the 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, the answer is 8, 01, 02, 03, 04. 8:04 is what time Jason got to school. And then B wants you to show the first bell. The first bell rings at 8:23. Draw the hands on the clock. So 8:23. We got 5, 10, 15, 20. There's 20, 21, 22, 23. Your clock should look somewhat like that. 3 tick marks after the 4. Okay. Then label the first and last tick mark. Okay, so here's a number line. Okay. Label the first and last tick marks, 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Okay, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Plot a point that shows when Jason arrives at school and label it A. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, an hour. I'm going to go ahead and label them for you so that you can kind of see. Sorry, I'm going kind of fast. I don't want this video to be incredibly long, especially with how much Miss Lewis rambles. Okay. I just put the minutes, but assume that there's I'm just gonna go ahead and put 8s in front of everything so it doesn't get confusing. There we go. Okay. So we have plot a point for what time Jason arrives at school. We said he arrives at 8:04. 8 o'clock, 8:01, 8:02, 8:03, 8:04, and then we have 8:05. So plot a point, right, 1 tick mark before 8:05. We have to label it A. There we go. Plot a point on the line for the time that the first bell rings and label it B. That's at 8:23. I see 8:20 and 8:25. I know it's in between there because it's more than 20 and less than 25. 21, 22, 23, 24, and then 25. So we need what time? 8:23. 21, 22, 23. So there should be one, and label it B. There should be 1 tick mark right before 25. Okay? All right. If any of you have any questions on the exit ticket or the homework, please let me know. And I hope that this worked out. If anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, there's not really much I can do about the lighting, unfortunately. But let me know if my pauses are long enough, if I need to make them longer. You can always pause the video whenever you're thinking about something. I just try to give a little bit of time just in case. But yeah, all right, let me know how it goes, and make sure you fill out your exit ticket and your homework pages, and you take a picture and you send them to me. Okay? All right. Bye, guys.